We have events in the stores where we bring in people who have interesting stories to tell. So we call it the Living Your Best Life series. And so last month we actually had a young man who's a travel nomad. And he makes his living with traveling the world and writing articles. And
Wow.
also he is an aspiring singer-rapper. So he also makes music. So we had a really nice event in the evening where he spoke at length about, you know, the ups and downs of pursuing that career. So in March, we're actually planning on having a doctor. Her name is Dr. Kim, and she wrote some books. So she's going to come in and talk about, you know, how to deal with difficult people, people who are manipulative. So so you'll be able to see all the flyer on my social media when we release the date.
Okay.
And the events are actually free to attend, and it's a really good way to, you know, to network. So I'm trying. So my background is actually I was a social worker. So I'm still have that kind of social work mentality where I want to give back and help people. So the speaker series that we're having in the store, it's just a way to kind of give back to the community and also to give people an opportunity to network.
Right. That's awesome. Well, we understand that you have a busy day. Your store is going to be open today at 12, correct?
Yes, yes.
All right. Well, we're going to let you go ahead so you can prepare to open up your store. And we thank you for joining us today. And if there's anything else you'd like to share with us, if not, we'll let you go. And we wish you the best of luck and hope to see more positive things from you.
Great. So thank you so much for this great opportunity, and you guys have a wonderful day.
You too. Thank you.
Thanks. Bye.
Bye-bye. That was Miss Tenille Glass, the owner of Shy vs. Bold, a retail store inside of the Fisher Theater. Again, it's in the basement of the Fisher Theater, so if you go in the Fisher Theater and you're looking for the store, just click that C, the concourse, and it'll take you downstairs. Next up, we have our guest coming on, all the way from Fayette, Mississippi, Mr. Dawuud Muhammad, also known as the IDoctor. He's going to come on with us and talk to us about whatever the IDoctor does. Right here on Live in the D with Mr.BB. We'll be right back. Stay with us.
It's live in the D with Mr. BB.
It's Live in the D with Mr. BB every Thursday at 9 a.m. right here on WVI 107.3 Radio We Can See.
That's why I had to say, come follow me, come follow me. That's why I had to say, come follow me. Oh, that's why I had to say, come follow me now, right now.
We are back. You are still sitting live in the D with Mr.BB. We are now joined by none other than the IDoctor, Dawuud Muhammad from IDoctor Screen Repair Services. And he is here to talk about the things that his business does and the things that they do over there at IDoctor Screen Repair and Device Repair. So, without further ado, good morning.
Good morning.
Morning, Mr. Dawuud. How are you?
I'm doing good. How are you?
I'm good. So, tell us, what is IDoctor Device Repair Services?
iDoc Device Repair Services is a company that basically just focuses on hardware repair, specifically for cell phones, computers, mainly laptops, PCs, and tablets.
Mainly laptops, PCs, and tablets. So, when did this business start?
The business itself started in 2014. No. The business itself started in 2015. It actually became something like a hobby for me. It was kind of a side thing that I did. We had plenty of neighbors in our neighborhood. We just had plenty of neighbors who had cracked screens. I used to post on Instagram a lot that I did crack screens, and the word got out. And eventually it was just something that I did on a regular basis, but it was specifically on the side because I started the business when I was in high school.
You were in high school?
Yes.
Fixing phones?
Yes.
And computers?
I wasn't focusing on specifically computers. At the time, I was just doing phones.
Okay. But in high school? So you hadn't even graduated?
Nope.
Not even a fully legal adult? And you're fixing phones and making part-time income?
pretty much.
Awesome, awesome. I like that entrepreneur spirit. So when did you first start? Well, I mean, you obviously first started in 2015, as you said, on the side, but how were you trained to prepare those phones when you started way back when and when you were in high school still?
My first phone was mine.
Okay.
I had an iPhone 5C. Funny story, because I wasn't thinking about doing no phones. Wasn't thinking about repairing my phone. When I cracked my screen, I took it to my daddy, and he just basically gave it back to me. In so many words, he gave it back to me and was like, "You do it yourself." So I had the phone in my hand, and I walked away from him. I'm like, I don't know what to do with this thing.
Right.
So I think he was the one, if I'm not mistaken, he encouraged me to purchase a kit offline. And I purchased the kit. Still didn't know what to do with the phone. I was going to give him the kit, but he was nowhere. He wasn't around. I needed my phone. I wanted to hurry up and get it up and running. So I went on ahead, took the initiative to go to YouTube and find videos of how to fix a cracked screen. And I took it to one of the businesses that we own. And I took it there and I fixed the screen. And I think it took me approximately about a whole 55 minutes to an hour to fix the screen. Once I was successful at it, I had a sister that was around me, and when she seen that I had done it successfully without any issues, she was like, "You can make a business out of that. Like you could literally do that on the side, making some money." And I like I said, I wasn't thinking about doing this. It's kind of a thing where my daddy kind of just pushed me, and then you had people who just supported me on the side. So I was like, okay, I got to push, I got to support. I'll do it.
Awesome, awesome. So this is just something that just kind of unintentionally kind of just fell onto your lap.
Very spontaneous, and it's I say that it's in my blood. Because my daddy, he worked on computers. Okay. That was all I've ever known him to do, just growing up. And I didn't know that I had I just didn't know that I had the opportunity, and I didn't really think that I had that type of bloodline. It was just kind of like, you can do it. Your daddy does it all the time. So, but like I said, I wasn't thinking about it. So when he gave me that push, he was like, "You do it. Purchase you a kit." Then I had a sister to tell me, "You could do this. You could make a business out of this." That's how it pretty much just came about.
Awesome, awesome. So, of course, with the modern age of technology, there's going to be a need for it. But what necessarily, precisely, do you see is the need for a business such as yours? What is the need for iDoctor device repair services that you see?
Device repair services, and it used to be screen repair services. I specifically changed the name to device repair services for a reason, because like you just said, there are devices pretty much everywhere. Mm-hmm. And I said this yesterday to somebody, and it was just a thing that just came out of my mouth, and it popped up in my head. I was like, wherever there is a device, there should be an iDoctor.
Okay.
Wherever there is a human being, there should be a doctor, right?
Absolutely.
You get sick. If you get sick or something happened, there should be a doctor or hospital nearby, ambulance. There's this business called CPR, and literally it's called CPR for a reason. Cell phone repair. Cell, CP, phone, and then R as in repair, for repair. And they have businesses all over the place. And every city has devices, technology. And the way technology works nowadays, we pretty much depend on these type of technology right here for our everyday usage throughout our lives. So you said, what is the need for iDoctor device repair services? Well, since we pretty much solely depend on these devices for many different things throughout the day, there should be a need for a doctor somewhere where if you crack it, you drop your phone, you got a deadline, you got something that you got to do, got to have it done by 9 p.m., but your phone cracked, LCD went out, you can't see nothing on your phone. What you going to do?
Right.
Call the iDoctor.
So basically what you're saying is, we crack it, you fix it.
Yes, but see, I don't want to surround it specifically around cracked screens. And we're going to go back to what I was saying earlier. I specifically changed the name for a reason, because it used to be screen repair services, and I changed it to device repair services because we don't just do screens. We're actually working on trying to get the resources to fix water damaged devices, but right now we do batteries, screen repairs, cameras, microphones. They have a lot of most phones that I know have a lot of issues with the microphone, cameras, buttons, batteries, and then you have the logic board that's in the inside of the phone. Those also need to be repaired.
Awesome.
If your phone just spontaneously goes out.
Interesting, interesting. So you tell me that you started this, and of course, at first it was just screens, and now you moved on to computers. About how long ago would you say that you started and got that interest into moving into computers and tablets and other devices?
I was already doing the tablets with the phones already. That kind of just went with the phone repair as far as glass repair and fixing cracked screens. Well, how I got into the computer thing, it was just, I don't know. I shifted into doing that. You know how every business, to me, you're supposed to grow into different aspects of knowledge, and once you grow into the different aspects of knowledge, you're supposed to be able to comprehend what you can do and what you cannot do. So that being said, I kind of just shifted to doing computer repairs when I fixed the cracked screen for a computer for a customer who brought me a computer, and I fixed the cracked screen. And when I opened the computer, I seen the simplicity. To me, it may not be simple to everyone else, but I seen the simplicity of the computer when I took it apart, and I'm like, man, I could do more than the cracked screen on this computer. I could change the motherboard, I could change the hard drive, I could change the CD-ROM, I could change the RAM sticks. It was like a puzzle block. Mm-hmm. And I used to play with blocks a lot when I was younger. So it was literally like blocks, Lego blocks pretty much. So I was like, man, I could do this. So I took it apart. I put the computer whole back together. I didn't just fix her screen. I literally took her whole computer apart, specifically because I was curious. So as I was taking it apart, I seen how simple it was to me, and I'm like, well, I'm meant to do this type of thing too. So I added that on to the services that I offer, and then eventually I just shot up.
Awesome, awesome. So from phones to tablets to computers, the IDoctor does pretty much it all. So what do you think your business is headed next?
Where I would like my business to head next is earlier I was mentioning the business that is called CPR. They have different buildings set up across the country. I'm not quite sure exactly how many. Excuse me, but what I would like to do is set up many different businesses. I want to start with one city. I'm already starting where I am right now. I'm not quite where I want to be as far as having the business to a level where if everyone has a device that's cracked, they just think of IDoctor. Oh, we got an IDoctor up the street. He can fix your phone. Okay, well, where it's headed next and what I would like to do is I would like to start a business. I would like to build some type of clientele throughout the country. Mm-hmm. So say, for instance, I grab you and say, hey, Mr.BB, you wanna be an IDoctor? What does that mean? Like, I just want you to learn how to fix phones. Fix just right now. You set up shop here, and then in Detroit, Michigan, or in Highland Park, or wherever you may be, you have an IDoctor in the area. And as soon as somebody crack their screen, or as soon as somebody mess up their phone, their computer, there's literally a specific thing. There should be a specific thought that goes to people's heads when it comes to damaging their devices. And I want it to be IDoctor. Or I just want it to be somebody that knows how to fix phones, and they can think of IDoctor. So that is where I want to be. And so, like I said, I want to set up shop in different areas of the country one day, once I get to the point where I can set up my corporate office in Mississippi, then that will probably be the next step. So I do plan to branch IDoctor out into different, for like, say for instance, Apple. They got Apple stores all over the place. Mm-hmm. Apple is one big company,
right?
But they have stores all over the place. And if you have an iPhone, what's the first thing you think of if you mess it up and you got Apple Care?
Apple. Take it to the geniuses.
Take it to the geniuses. Apple Store. They have. So I think about that. So if, say, for instance, well, I already gave you an example. So that is where I want my business to head.
Okay. I like it. I like it a lot. So initially, what you plan to create is as you said, a corporation where you have multiple eye doctors around the country, and someone screens cracks, they don't have to necessarily just be in Mississippi or ship the phone straight to you. They can find the nearest eye doctor for them.
I want the whole 9 yards. And then we're right now we're just concentrating on the hardware side of of the
Yes.
devices, but eventually I want to tackle the software side.